guys, Dr. Decks here. Today we're finishing up some framing, adding some blocking, framing some stairs, and just doing some overall preparation for our decking, which we will be getting tomorrow afternoon. We won't be here on Friday, so we'll be starting installation of that next week. If you learned something today or you like what you see, don't forget to click that subscribe button, hit the bell icon if you want to be notified every time we put out fresh content. And for those of you that want to learn how to bend deck boards, don't forget to check out Dr. Deck's Masterclass, available for you online through drdecks.masterclass.com. All right, let's go check this out. So what Nazi is doing is he's taking a power planer and he's shaving the tops of the high spots of the joists. By doing this, we ensure that once we install our decking with our Dexter Dry waterproof gutter spline, that the water is going to travel down the deck and not get hung up on any high spots where the water might pool and just sit there. So we're just trying to keep an even flow going all the way from the house all the way out to the outside of the deck.
Why are you tripling up that board?
I didn't like the way we finished it out. I had a little bit of a epiphany yesterday, and we had framed this landing and I committed to some cuts. And then as I started framing and things evolved, which they often do, you start off with a plan and then sometimes it changes. And I ended up not liking the way it looked from underneath. Now, it doesn't change the structural integrity of anything. You don't see it from above the deck, but you would see it from below, and I kept staring at this spot and I didn't like it. So I'm just adding some framing into this one section just so it looks nice. So this is strictly a cosmetic thing I'm doing right now. It has nothing to do with structure, but that's why it ended up being a triple. It's all gonna be dry, so it's not gonna rot or decay. It's just something I felt like I needed to do to make it look right, because it looked kind of goofy. So now it looks good. All right, guys, so now I'm on to the staircase. The first thing I have to do when I'm building a staircase is figure out the rise and the run of our stairs. The first thing I already kind of know what the run's gonna be, so I really just need to figure out the rise. So what I need to do is figure out from frame what the overall height is or where my last jack's gonna be. I know I need 5 rises to build this, and each run is gonna be about 11 inches. So I need about 55 inches from the deck. So I gotta come out, there we go. So I got 55 inches, and now I need to measure down from the slab, and I know I've got a little bit of pitch on this deck, so I'm just gonna raise this up a little bit. Okay, so that feels pretty good right there. So I'm about 45 inches, a little over, but I'm just gonna go with 45 inches is my height. So if I'm 45 inches, so now I'm gonna take my construction calculator, and I'm gonna take 45 inches, I'm gonna divide that by 6 rises, and it gives me 7.5 inches per rise. So that's average, that's good, that's what I want. I want a 7.5 inch rise per step. So when I lay out my stair jacks, I'll have 7.5 inches for each rise, plus the final rise at the top of the staircase. But you gotta subtract 1 inch, because you gotta subtract the thickness of your decking from your bottom step only. So you'll have a 6.5 inch rise at the bottom, and then a 7.5 inch rise, each one to the top. And that should give you equal rises. So after you lay your decking down, you'll have 7.5, 7.5, 7.5, all the way up to your landing, okay? All right, guys, so now what I've done is I've taken my 2x12s. I need 5 stair jacks for a 4-foot run. I know my height is 7.5 inches. My run is gonna be my decking plus a gap, plus I leave a 1/4 inch of play. So my run is gonna be, let's say 11 inches plus a 1/4 plus a 1/4. So 11.5 inches. So I'm 7.5 and 11.5. 7.5 inch rise, 11.5 inch run. So what I have here is an L square. You can get these at about anywhere. And I have these really cool jigs. And these are called squidjigs. And these you can't get anywhere. You have to get them from squidjig.com. That's SQIJIG, I believe. Cal, you can double check that and put it on the screen. And Squidjig, what they did was they took a standard set of stair jack layout tools and put them on steroids, which I really like. They have a really long tail, and they made me these special color, black. Nobody else has these, and you can't get them either, but you can get some nice blue ones with their logo on them, okay? So go get yours today at squidjig.com. Anyway, I use these devices to lay out multiple exact runs of the same measurement. So what we do, if you have a 7.5 inch rise, you come up 7.5. Usually what I do, you'll see all kinds of pencil marks on my squares, because I'm gonna come up here and I'm gonna mark where 7.5 is with my pencil. And then I'm gonna come over here to 11.5, and yeah, I've used that one many times. So I'm just refreshing it, okay? So what you wanna do is you wanna create your 7.5 and your 11.5 inch marks right on the edge of your 2x12. What's cool about these, most of these stair layout tools are about as thick on each side. So they barely hang on to the meat of your material that you're trying to trace. But these, once you clamp them on, you have a lot more material that you can use to grab in case there's some wane, or if the board's cupped, you know you're getting the exact trace every time you do a jack, okay? So I got my 7.5 here, so I'm gonna take one of my squidjigs, I'm gonna put it on, I'm gonna lock it down right at 7.5. And then I'm gonna come over here to 11.5 on my run side, and I'm gonna clamp that down like so. Okay, so now no matter where I put this square, even if there's a high knot or anything else, imperfections along this board, my jig is still gonna be the same, which is kind of important when you're doing stair jack layout, right? All right, so now I know I need 5 rises. So I'm gonna start laying out my stairs. I'm gonna start on the high side. This will be my high side, this will be my low side, okay? So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna trace this. I'm just gonna lay one out real quick. I'm gonna set that to the side. I'm just gonna come back and measure it. Make sure I'm happy. Hello, tree. I'm happy with my rise. Now, it looks to me like it says about 7 3/8, 7 3/8 plus. So I'm not deep enough. Let's see what my run says. 11 3/8 plus. So I'm about a 1/16 off on each of these. Now by the time you finish cutting all these out, so on and so forth, could be having that issue as well. I'm gonna make a quick adjustment on this side. Tighten that back up. Yeah, it changed my angle just a little bit. I'm gonna lengthen this just a little bit as well. Because when you do this, when you do change your angles, it changes everything on your layout. So if you don't take care of it right away, you could be in trouble. So what I do is I mark the back side. So there's 7.5. So basically there's a opposing mark on the other side of the square. When I do my layout, I use that opposing side and I lay it out to my mark on the back side of that number, 7.5, and that's what I lay that out to this mark. That way I know I have a 7.5 inch rise for my next step. Okay, and keep going, and there's your 7.5 inch rise. So you're very accurate. Okay, now I'm 7.5. Now I'm 7.5. So now I've got my proper rise. We'll see how this one did for depth. 11.5. So now I'm perfect. So you might need to make a small adjustment. That's why don't start laying out your entire jack system if you're not 100 on where you're at for your layout. Okay, but now that I can keep going, I'm gonna look at my backside mark, because I always had a problem trying to figure out exactly where I should put the front nose of this, okay? And that becomes kind of an issue when you're doing stair layout, because the more accurate you are, the better it's gonna be for the overall health of your stairs. Also, you don't wanna have more than a 3/8 inch difference in any particular rise on your stair set. Top, bottom, middle, whatever, it'll never pass inspection. Inspectors always check to make sure your rises are the same, at least mine do. It's one of the stickler points around the Pacific Northwest, apparently. So now I've got my 7.5 again. I'm gonna draw it again. Here we go. Okay, let's see, I needed 5, right? 1, 2, 3, this is my 4th. So I need one more. Okay, so that's 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, that's my 5th one right there. Okay, so I didn't need to draw this. That's okay. Okay, now you gotta remember, this is my bottom step. We want a total of 7.5 inches, but once I add my decking onto here, I would have 8.5, which again, would not pass code. It's not comfortable rise. It's not gonna feel good going up and down the stairs when your last stair is 1 inch taller than the rest. You gotta subtract 1 inch off the bottom jack. So what I do, I just measure from the line right here to 6.5, because my decking is 1 inch thick. I do the same thing here, measure 6.5. I put a mark there. Now, when you flip this around, technically, you should be able to put this square on here and it should give you the same exact angle, but usually it's off a little bit. I don't know why. It's probably because the board isn't the same width. There could be a knot in the way. It's very rare that I flip the square and it exactly matches. It's close, but it's not perfect. So I'm gonna disregard the squidjigs right now and I'm gonna make this match this. Okay. Also, while I'm at it, because I don't like to put my treated lumber right onto the concrete over here, I'm gonna subtract an extra 1/2 inch off the bottom of the rise, because I'm gonna put some composite shims underneath my staircase so the staircase doesn't sit directly from wood to ground contact. It'll have a plastic barrier, a composite barrier. So instead of at 6.5, I'm actually gonna go to 6. So that's your quick tip for today. Okay, guys? 6. All right. Again, it's still not quite there, so I'm just gonna tweak this just a tidge. Okay. Now, a couple more things. I'm also gonna add a piece of 2x8 or 6 or whatever 2x material to the nose of each tread. A lot of people don't do that, but I do. It's just the way I roll. So I don't have to take any material off of this jack because I'm gonna add material here and I'm gonna add material here and it's gonna give me the same distance. But my top step, I have to subtract material from the back side of the stair, because if I don't, it's gonna make the stair jack too thick and I'll have 2 deck boards plus a rip piece. Now, because of the way I'm building my stairs, I've already set up support for it on the deck. So I don't have to worry about subtracting for the thickness of that, because it's gonna tuck right underneath there. So I don't have to subtract 1.5 inches for that, but I do have to subtract 1.5 inches for the fact that I'm adding 1.5 inches to the face of each one of these stairs. So because of that, I'm gonna subtract an additional 1.5 inches off the back side of my staircase, like so. But just off the back step of the one stair. I know this is getting a little bit confusing. I've done a lot of staircases. I've learned a lot over the years. I've made plenty of mistakes. So that's my cut line right there. This is no longer my cut line. And usually I'll come in and I'll line this up. And then just to finish this cut, I'll go through like so. All right. So there's my layout for my stair jacks. Now, instead of cutting these out individually, I'm going to use a special saw called the Sasquatch that Skill Saw makes, and it's going to allow me to cut all these at the same time. So that's what I'm using next.
So I'm trying to find which joist is, because we're putting deck boards on, obviously you don't want the deck boards to go up and down, up and down. So I'm taking my level and trying to run it across the top of the joist to figure out if I've got like a high one in the set, or if one's like extra low, to try to like match it, not match the lowness, but make it so it's not so drastic so you can't see that in the boards. And since we're adding Dexter Dry on this deck, we also don't want the water to pool up in any one spot. So it's kind of a give and go process here, taking the planer and then the level to, like I said, find out where my high spots are and try to make this deck as flat as possible so that we could take a level and roll it across like this so there's no bumps. Let's see this one. Yeah.
Always wear these. All right, guys, thanks for watching. I really appreciate it. If you learned something new today or maybe saw a new tool you didn't know existed, don't forget to click that subscribe button and hit the bell icon if you want to be notified every time we're putting out fresh content, every time we're putting out fresh content. And don't forget to tell a friend or two about our page. We really appreciate it. We really appreciate your subscriptions and your likes and your comments, and leave them right below if you have one for us. Don't forget to visit Dr. Deck's Masterclass if you want to learn more about how to bend deck boards. And have a great day. Thanks for watching.